Advanced Heroquest Gaming Aids. Beastmen. Beastmen in Advanced Heroquest already have stats. They were released in the White Dwarf adventure, The Priests of Pleasure by Andy Warwick, and if you are looking for a great adventure to begin your party's careers with, I do recommend it. In this adventure, you get the monster stats for a beastman with a sword and shield and wearing leather armor, as well as a sentry with just a sword and shield. I don't know about you, but I've played against beastmen in Warhammer Fantasy, Warcry, Age of Sigmar and Mordheim, and I've never seen a beastman armed with a sword and shield. I'm not saying that they don't exist, but they're a bit rare, to say the least. Thus, in this video I am presenting updated profiles to better represent the models we as 21st century gamers are more likely to possess. To begin with, I went back to the stats in White Dwarf and stripped away the equipment bonuses to get to the underlying values to give us a standard race profile. This came out as Weapon Skill 6, Bow Skill 6, Strength 5, Toughness 6, Speed 7, Bravery 7, Intelligence 5, and 4 wounds. This complete, we can now create profiles for beastmen with more common weapon and armor loadouts. Let us begin with a beastman with 2 hand axes and no armor, the ubiquitous Gore. The Gore has a weapon skill of 6, a bow skill of 6, strength 5, toughness 6, speed 7, bravery 7, intelligence 5, and wounds 4, but also has the special rule, 2 attacks, allowing it to fight with both of its weapons. This rule bumps this type of Gore up to 2 points. As it is armed with axes, or hand weapons treated as axes, this does mean that the Gore has the option of throwing one of its axes, although it would lose its 2 attack rule if it does so, at least until the axe is recovered at the end of combat. Although, to be honest, the heroes should have killed it by then. The variant with a shield and hand weapon would have the following stat line. Weapon skill 6, bow skill 5, strength 5, toughness 7, speed 7, brave 7, intelligence 5, and wounds 4, and only cost 1 point, as it has no special rules. It is a little bit more tough, though. A Beastman Gore Sentry is armed with a hand weapon and possesses a horn with which to summon other beastmen with, and thus has the following stat line. Weapon skill 6, bow skill 6, strength 5, toughness 6, speed 7, bravery 7, intelligence 5, and 4 wounds, and cost 2 points. Sentries have the following rules, if you recall. There's a special rule for a certain type of monster. These are called sentries. Sentries add +1 to the GM's surprise roll. The dungeon section the sentry appears in always contains a door, even if one was not rolled for on the room doors table. This may be placed by the GM. The GM can choose to have the sentry open this door instead of making an attack, provided that the sentry is adjacent to it. If a sentry opens a door into an unexplored part of the dungeon, generate the new section at the end of the GM phase using the same system as in the exploration phase, and then continue with the next combat turn. Another relatively common type of beastman is the elite Bestigor. These have chain armor and are armed with a great weapon. They are also naturally stronger, tougher and braver, and to reflect this, they have 1 higher point of weapon skill, strength, toughness and bravery, as well as an additional wound. These cost 3 points and have the following stat line. Weapon skill 7, bow skill 5, strength 6, toughness 9, speed 5, bravery 8, intelligence 5, and 5 wounds. If you are lucky enough to own a Beast Lord, they have an even more impressive stat line. Weapon skill 8, bow skill 5, strength 6, toughness 10, speed 5, bravery 9, intelligence 6, and 5 wounds. They also wield 2 hand weapons, and thus I've given them the 2 attacks rule. These cost 5 points. Just so that you're aware, I used the same stat upgrades as an Orc Warlord has over a standard Orc to generate this stat line. And so finally, I come to the reason I've made this video. I wanted to give our Beastmen bodyguards to the Chaos Champion Krontharg Hornhelm in our current campaign a stat line suitable to their role. Looking at the models, old Rogue Trader 40k Beastmen, we can see that they are unarmoured Bestigor with 2 hand weapons. This gives us the following stat line. Weapon skill 7, bow skill 6, strength 6, toughness 7, speed 7, bravery 8, intelligence 5, and 5 wounds. But also the 2 attacks rule. They each cost 4 points, and these are a special unit for our campaign, but feel free to use them yourselves. All of these stat cards are included in the video description as downloadable sheets, so you can use any of these monsters in your own games. Just print off each sheet and then fold them in half and glue. The backs are deliberately oversized, so you can trim them down to the size of the front side after folding, without there being any gaps. And so, what's next? We've had a request to create rules for a Keeper of Secrets, so next time we do one of these videos, it will be for Slaanesh. And for us, now we can play the next part of our campaign. As always, we love feedback, but please, join us to see how Sven Hammerhelm does against Krontharg's goons in our next Bat Rep.